We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Cheers, son. I
Love
know you
that.
appreciate that too. Anyway, guys, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. As you can see, I'm buzzing to be joined by Sean from Wilco's Whites. Make sure you go check his channel out. I'll definitely name drop that a couple of times during this video. Top guy, great content. Get over and check Sean from Wilco's Whites out. Give him some support, please. Anyway, Sean, how are you doing, my mate?
Yeah, all good. Back on it now. Back doing videos and stuff. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to next few games, especially over Christmas period. So yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm just hoping results go our way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one when you look ahead. I mean, going back a few games, I looked at this chunk of 5 or 6 games and thought, oh, easy pickings these. And then all of a sudden you look at this game and think, yeah, this should be a foregone conclusion, which we'll touch on. But then you go 2 away games followed by Blackburn at home. All of a sudden, it looks like a tricky few games after this one, doesn't it, pal?
It does, and especially that's like the Stoke game as well. We've got Stoke. Which one's afterward? I can't remember. What was after that?
Derby away. I'm not too concerned about, but you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
So I think the Stoke one could be a stumbling block. Derby's 3 points for me. And then we've got Blackburn at home, haven't we? New Year's Day. But yeah, again, they're doing well. So
that'll feel like that Middlesbrough one, that, Sean. I think where you go into it thinking, I'm not too, like say many home games this season, you go in and you think a bit like Saturday, yeah, we'll get 3 points. That Blackburn one, if they continue for the next couple of weeks, you look at that and think maybe similar to Middlesbrough, you know, because sometimes you get a purple patch in this league, go on a bit of a run, and you know, momentum's massive. And I mean, they're up to what, 5th now, Blackburn, and looking pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think we get up for big games like we do against Middlesbrough, Sheffield United. We seem to get up for games like that.
Yeah, we do.
It's the teams we think we should be beating that we can't seem to, and that's the situation, isn't it? As home form was not a problem. Not a problem.
Not even with John Eustace coming to town.
Yeah.
He's a bugger, him. He's got Farker's number, hasn't
he? Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, well,
that's true.
But yeah, looking ahead to the Oxford game, which I hope you're gonna meet us before game and have a couple of jars, which will be nice. Finally get to meet.
I'm coming into Leeds to meet you first.
Good lad.
I think 11 o'clock.
Yeah, get there to Moot for a couple of hours and we'll get a taxi over. But yeah, it's a bit of an unusual position for me, mate. That they're outside the relegation zone, yet sack the manager, and I know they're struggling. But what more do Oxford expect as a club? You know, that they're not currently in the relegation zone, only out of it by a point, I think. But it's quite wild, I think, to sack the manager now. You know, it's a manager that got them up. Where do Oxford expect to be? They're right where I'd expect them to be, maybe a little bit higher, if I'm honest. Sean, what did you make of them sacking the manager? Did you see it coming, really?
No, I didn't. And I think they started off well, didn't they, Oxford? I think they got a few decent wins at the beginning of the season. But I'm thinking the chairman's very ambitious by the looks of it, because maybe look at us when if we go to the Premier League. How long would we give Farker? You know, and it's a bit similar to that for me. I think if they're going to do it, they're doing it at the right time. So they've got get the manager in. It looks like it's going to be Gary Rowett.
Yeah, it does.
Give him the January transfer window and hopefully turn the fortunes around, because I think it's just them being ambitious. And I know with the Oxford fans, they're all kicking off because it's been a big blow for them, because obviously close to the hearts, and it did so well with them last season, getting them up. But as a club, I think, and as the chairman, is just wanting the club to be the best they can. And sometimes you've got to make these decisions. So, yeah, it's a bit harsh on the manager, but as a club going forward, maybe it's the right idea, because going off the past results, it ain't been good for them.
Well, we'll see what sort of ownership they've got, really, when you look at it. It's a 2-horse race between Gary Rowett, which I think would be a great appointment, and also I've heard John Terry. I think if they go for John Terry, they're going for a name a bit like Plymouth have done with Rooney. It's a bit more of a gamble. If you go with Gary Rowett,
Lampard,
yeah, exactly. I think if they go John Terry, I think it'll leave a bit of a bad smell for Oxford. You know, get rid of a local hero. He's an Oxford lad. But I think if they go for Gary Rowett, I don't think you can really complain. It's definitely an upgrade. He's someone who could potentially keep him in this division. So, as we know, facing someone who's either got a new manager in the door, which they won't have, but, you know, sacking of a manager leaving, bringing a caretaker in, it'll probably galvanise that squad. They'll probably want to prove a point on Saturday. So, maybe that's something I'm mindful of. Do you think that'll affect the Oxford's performance in a positive way?
I do, but it's the assistant manager that's going to be in the dugout for them, the ex-assistant manager. So I don't think tactically or the formation is going to change very much from what they've been doing. So yeah, I think maybe we've dropped lucky by a few days that they haven't got. I think it's going to be Gary Rowett. I think he's signed something in principle. It was saying on Sky Sports. So I think we're lucky that maybe he didn't come in last week, earlier in the week. So I just think it's going to be the same for them, and I don't expect any manager bounce or anything like that.
No, yeah, I agree, mate. Like I said, there might be a bit of a mentality switch with them. You know, playing for the shirts. Tactically, there won't be much change, no, but they'll want to show that new manager, you know, what they're all about. He'll be watching, I'm sure. Yeah. We'll row it, but like you say, this is a game. Really. Honestly, Sean, I almost didn't do a preview for this game because I just thought, honestly, it sounds so bad, but I'm just an honest guy, and I'm just like, this is a game, honestly, where I just think, just get the 3 points and move on. This should be a piece of cake, and that isn't being big-headed. I mean, I'm just gonna have a look at there. Let me just get this up now.
Matt, every team that comes to Elland Road are always up for it.
No, they are. It's
no
final.
Different for me. This, it's the cup final. It is.
I mean, just looking at their away form in general, mate. It's just, I don't think they've won away from home. I don't think this season. Let's have a look.
I don't think they have. It's shocking.
Yeah, no wins, mate. No wins. Like down there, second bottom in terms of away form. You know, just and then you look at Leeds, and it's just total opposites. We're top at league, aren't we? I think at home, and I just don't see. They're just so poor. No one in the last 5. I just don't see anything other than a Leeds victory and a convincing victory, to be honest.
No.
How do you see the lineup going, first of all, for Leeds, mate, after that press conference today? A bit of a dodgy one.
Yeah, I mean, I was questioning why Verba won't start in last game, but obviously he's got a knock. I didn't hear about that, and obviously it's continued, so it's a bit of a shame for me because I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Max Verba. So with him being out, it's going to obviously be Byron back at left back, and Bogle right back, and then Joe Rodon, and then maybe Ampadu by the sounds of it. If
I think so.
Pascal's not, and for me, if he's not right, I'd rest him anyway in this fixture.
Yeah,
with it being Oxford. If he's not right, there's no reason to risk him. Not with games that we've got coming up.
What's his other option, Sean? If Ampadu isn't seen as a starter now due to his fitness, coming back to fitness, which I don't see many more choices really, other than De Bayo or Gilavogi dropping in at centre half.
Someone. Yeah.
Do you reckon a game like this would be okay at that?
I'd be happy with Gilavogi. Yeah. I would like to see more of him, and he can play there.
Yeah, he can.
It's just for me, Ampadu and Rodon, they played most of last season together.
It's a great partnership, isn't it, Sean? As a backup partnership,
and we know it works. So for me, it'd be Ampadu. But yeah, if there's fitness issues there, then Gilavogi is the option.
Yeah, and I've said before, mate, I've got no issue with Byram playing on left back. I'd have 11 Byrams if I could, mate. I absolutely love Byram. So I know we lose a lot with Firpo and Voba being out, but Byram always gives you a 7 out of 10. So we're not going to get tested much that way anyway, are we? You know what I mean? So I think going forward, is he as good? Maybe not. But we have seen assists from left back. We've seen him ball crunching tackles at middle of the park and starting moves. I know you've spoke very highly of Byram, so there's no issue with someone like Byram coming at left back, is it, pal? Even for a bigger game than this, Sean, you know.
No, and I thought he did so well against in the Middlesbrough game at right back.
So, mate, so good. You don't lose all the Byram playing for me. He can play to a decent level at this level, either side, can't he?
Yeah, either side. And he could possibly do centre half as well a little bit, maybe.
I agree.
But yeah, that's what I think it'll be, and I think that'll be the back four. And like I think I would just start Ampadu me and give Strike a break if he's not fully fit. I think he's got tight hamstrings. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he said, mate. So, like you say, there's no point in risking him. And you know, do we play midweek? Or have we got a week off after this? Play midweek.
Is it Boxing Day?
It's Boxing Day next game, isn't it? Yeah, it's Boxing Day. So yeah, I think you're just resting me, and there's no point risking it. You know, he hasn't pulled it yet. Let's not push it. We've got a squad now capable of people filling in. Even if it is square pegs round holes, it's still a amount of quality that can fill in. And like I say, Ampadu, even if he gets through 60 minutes, mate, and they've got to bring a Gilavogi in, you know, by that point, you'd like to think we've got the game sewn up. But we'll have to see. But any more changes you'd make to that side from his last game, from Preston game?
Yeah, I'd bring Solomon in, and I'd take Nonto out.
I agree, 100%.
I would. I'd still keep obviously Tanaka, Rothwell, Aronson, and Dan James, and I would go Joseph up front.
Yeah, me too. To be fair, mate, this is a game as well where it's a game where if you're a striker, whoever's starting up top, they'll be chomping at bit to get going in this, because
this could be a game where he gets his goals and gets his confidence.
It could. That's what I'm thinking. I don't really think Pino needs a confidence. I think he can come up with a goal, anytime really. You know what he's like. He's deadly in that box. But Joseph's the one. If he could wish someone gets a couple of goals on Saturday, it'd be Joseph for me. I really would like him to get that monkey back. I know he scored a few already, but I feel like if he could get a couple and have a really good performance, it's only going to help us out going forward, because
it'd be such a boost for him. Even if he got massive. 2 goals, it'd be a goal. It'd be such a boost for him. It really would.
It really would, Paul. After this game, obviously we've touched on, we've got I think a bit of a tough run. I don't think Derby away is particularly tough, but I think Stoke being away from home is a massive worry. So obviously it's vital we keep winning at home, while ever we're not looking too good away from home. Just wanted to ask you your opinion. Obviously I hadn't had you on here before, so looking at that away form, do you expect it to change, or do you think it's going to be something that hampers us throughout the season, Sean, or do you back in to get it right and get it right soon?
It has to change for me, because at the minute we're all right, we're okay. But I'm thinking last season when we had that dip off in form towards the back end. That's my worry, and this is why I think these games were dropping points. Could it come back to bite us end of the season?
Yeah, it could do, couldn't it, mate?
I think we need to start getting some away wins now, and just to pull away, get some points on the board. Pull away from third place. I'm not bothered about finishing top, mate. It's just pulling away from third place. As long as we get to top 2, I'm happy. But I'm just going back to last season, and that's still in my mind of how bad we played them last few games. And I think we can't risk it. We've got to start picking points up away from home.
Yeah, 100%, mate. We tend to do better against the sides who were a bit tougher for me, and these easier games away from home, we always struggle. I've sort of maintained it, as you know, on this channel, that I'm a Brendan Aronson fan, but I'm not in love with him. I'd like him to come out. I do think that position, whether it's a player we've already got in there, whether it's a winger, which I know he probably won't play there, or a midfield like Rothwell, or a 10 in January, I think that position for Leeds is a missing. It's a jigsaw piece that just don't quite fit for me. I think in these tough games away from home, as well as good as he is, I think that position holds a key to us getting these wins away from home. That little bit of quality that we're just lacking in certain areas, I think that could open up so many doors for Leeds to get over the line in some of these games, and also in the home games where we're winning 2 or 3-0, but we know it could be more. I think that's the key. I think a lot of his positions are sound, and we've got rotation everywhere. He's the one position really we haven't got rotation. He's playing a lot of minutes. I feel like if we had someone who could challenge him and rotate and have a little bit more quality, I think that holds a key, Sean, to us potentially, pulling away and being the Leeds United that we all hoped and thought we would be.
Yeah, I think that's got to be priority in January. Yeah. And I'd like to get somebody in, and it's not just providing them passes, but getting on the goals as well. And it's crazy because Aronson has scored 5 goals this season, but it's the chances he's missed, and it's not just him, but the chances he's missed as well. He could be on 10 goals already. Could Brendan Aronson, but. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we just need a different option, somebody else in there, and like I said, just to give him a break. And I mean, we know he can play out wide, can Aronson as well. It's not, he don't have to always come out of the team. He can play in a different position, but
he's all right off at left as well, isn't he, Sean?
I liked him on the right, but obviously Dan James is undroppable at the minute.
Undroppable. Can we just have a moment to talk about Dan James? He's probably, I like rotation, but he's probably the one winger I would not want to take off for even a second at the minute. I want him on the pitch at all times. I mean, what an improvement we've had off him over the last 2 years, mate.
18 yeah, I mean, I were down at Wembley for the final, and I couldn't believe he wasn't starting, and it proved it when he came on, and he was the only one that looked like he were up for it, and then he hit the bar, didn't he? But I just love him. I think he's he's fantastic, and he's just getting better with age, like a fine wine, isn't he? He's honestly is.
Most improved player, mate. Most improved.
He is. I mean, can he do it in the Prem if we go up? Who knows? But I think he'd be a lot better player now than he was 3 years ago in Premiership anyway. So I wouldn't have no worries with Dan James. But yeah, I just love watching him, and he's just you can tell he plays for the badge.
Yeah, 100%. You think you're a Leeds born and bred, wouldn't you, where he plays? Honestly, you really would.
You would.
I think someone told me his dad's a Leeds fan. I don't know how true that is, so I don't know if that's something that's sort of like he's grown up with, whether he supports Leeds or not. I'm not too sure, but I've heard something like that. But I wouldn't be too surprised if that were true, because there's no doubt in his effort and his work rate, like what we always talk about Aronson. But now he's sort of matured a bit and he's got that quality now. I mean, he's scoring goals. I mean, he don't even all his goals seem to be sort of worldy short as well. It's like the 2004 2024 version of Yeboah. He just scores worldy.
I love that guy.
I'm over the top, mate. You know what I mean? But
I love that guy.
Yeah, what a guy. But he only knows how to score good goals. He's just undroppable at minute. And
but even when we played him up front, even a few seasons, and he just got on with it. You know,
he's never moaned, mate. And we've treated him like dirt at times as well as a club. You know, I feel like we really
sending him out on loan as well. Yeah. I think he just loves this club and he wants to play for Badge and the fans and yeah, for me, he's going to be one of the top players for Leeds in the next few years. It really is.
I agree, mate. I think in Prem as well, maybe not to this level, no, but with that pace and he has got quality as well. I think he'll be a great asset in the Prem, regardless. I'm hoping this game we do see Solomon. I feel like Solomon's really been improving throughout the season, and I think this is a game because I'm expecting, they'll come and sit back, but I'm expecting us to do business and it'd be quite convincing. Be nice to see some of these players let off the leash and really go for it and try and get, as many goals and chances as we can. It could be quite an entertaining game if Farker allows that to happen. And someone like a Solomon, a James, a Joseph, I'd love them to get on score sheet and really, I'd even say the same for Nonto, but I would set Nonto out of this one. But it's sort of a game where I don't think anyone wants to be dropped. I think everyone feels they'll have a chance in this game, a bit of space, and it could be a really good game for some of these players to get on the score sheet.
I'm also surprised Solomon's been benched for the past few games because I thought he were back on form.
He was.
And I couldn't understand Daniel Farker taking him out of the squad. Maybe that's just to facilitate Nonto, but for me, he needs to be starting. Like I say, you play your informed players, and he looked on it, and then he got dropped, and it was a strange one.
Honestly, I thought Solomon would come out of the side only when Ramazan is fit. The fact that it's come out of the side and Ramazan is not really in yet is actually crazy. But I feel like it's credit to how good Dan James has done.
Yeah,
that he's nailed down one of the positions, and I feel like Nonto's maybe one of Farker's favourites, and he's not too easy with leaving him out. But I feel like going forward, Nonto is going to be the one to come out because Ramazani and Solomon, two don't go into one, does it? And there's only one spot available at the minute with Dan James playing so well.
You're bob on, I think that's right. Dan James is it's obviously it's not the same position, but it's him that's forced Solomon out because Farker thinks Nonto's undroppable, but no, I think Nonto needs to come out and maybe have a rest and maybe more of an impact sub and play Solomon for me with James on the right.
I agree, mate. To be fair, we might be able to play Bamford in this game in goal because I don't think we're going to have many shots. Honestly, I'm so confident for this one, Sean. I swear to God, I don't think Melier's going to have much to do at all in this one. I think it's going to be.
It's still let one in with Bamford. It's still let one in.
Maybe, mate. Well, Darren always says he'd be a great goalkeeper because he's good at keeping ball out of net, which is quite funny. But I'd like to just touch after watching your video, seen a bit of news. I'd like to touch on Bamford. How likely do you feel a Wrexham move is? I know he's been linked with the Italian side, as well, but how likely do you think a Wrexham move is, pal?
Financially, I think they can do it. It's whether Bamford wants to drop down.
Yeah, I think his ego might get in the way of that. I think League One sounds... It just doesn't sound right for a player that's had an England cap, and I think Bamford thinks he's still... He'll have that mentality. He'll have that, top tier mentality. I'm sure he will. I don't think he'll think he's as bad as some of us think he is. Going down to League One, it'd be a great move for him. Wrexham would get game time as long as he were fit. He'd probably do okay there. But League One, it just
perfect.
I think it'd be perfect. But it's just kind of get over that stigma of going down another division when he probably feels like he's a Premier League player. If we're honest, he'll feel like that. I believe.
I think so as well, and I mean it's linked to Genoa as well. Maybe that'd be a possibility if ever that pulled off. I think he'd go to Serie A, but Wrexham, yeah, for me perfect fit, but it's whether Bamford wants to drop, and it's whether Daniel Farke wants to let him go. Because I think he does still rate him.
He does. He keeps talking about him, Sean, doesn't he? It's one of them where he's a great, I suppose, he's a great third option, I guess. I mean, I don't see it, but I mean, for me, you let him go and you go get a third option who's going to push to be first option, you know, whereas I know Danny says in chat he expects him to have a running team. I just don't see it myself, Sean. I feel like he's come back recently and I feel like that was Farke trying to push Joseph by, you know, bringing him on. I don't think it's... I prefer Bamford or he's going to affect game more. I feel like a couple of games when he's come on ahead of Joseph, I feel like it's been a push Joseph because we saw it following game. He started Joseph after bringing Bamford on before him. So I don't think he sees Bamford as maybe a starter or even second choice to Pirro.
No, but we need a new number 9. We need somebody 100%. Else, I think, and we need to make room in squad. So
you would like a bigger physical striker, wouldn't you? You would like him to bring someone who's a bit more imposing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I'd like. Big 6 foot, whatever, strong, good with the head because it'd improve us on corners.
Sounds like you're talking about Evan Ferguson, Sean. Sounds like you're talking about someone.
I hope it's true. I think yeah, I'd love to have somebody like that. And even if it'd be a statement signing, and you know, even if he didn't start every game, it's an option off the bench, and it's a different option when things aren't going right. We can go a different route, and yeah, even if it is lump it up to big man, doesn't always work.
No, I agree. I mean, Joseph can run in behind. He can stretch defenders. Pirro's a different profile of Joseph, but I still feel like Joseph's a little bit young. He ain't quite got that nasty edge to him. He's physically gets stuck in, but not to the degree of. I hate saying Kiefer Moore. He's poor this season, but what you see, you want someone who can all ball up and bully a defender. I don't feel like we've got that. I feel like Pirro's a bit too nice. Joseph's a bit too young. Bamford's probably best at 3 of them at doing that, but like you say, he's not going to get many minutes. So yeah, I agree, and they're not going to bring a fourth.
Not in this league, Matty. I agree. Not with Championship defenders. They're all grizzled and nasty, you know, and they want to battle really, and yeah, maybe you're right. Joseph and Pirro ain't got that in them. But I think that's what we need. Just somebody to give us that physical presence.
And they're not going to bring a fourth striker in, either, Sean. So for me, they'd have to move Bamford on to bring one in. But I think I've heard him say he won't bring anyone in, he won't let anyone go till someone comes in. So are they gonna risk bringing a fourth striker in to then try and offload Bamford? Because that might not work for a lot of reasons. You know, it'd have to be a nailed on sale or loan before we bring someone in, because we could end up stuck with all 4, because a Bamford could break down in training with an injury before it goes through. There may be disagreements with pay, because as we know, he's on 35-40 grand a week, and Wrexham don't have no FFP rules in their division, granted, like Birmingham, we know that, but it's still 30 grand a week more than their top earner on 10 grand, which I've read today. So it's a risky one, really. If they bring a fourth one in, trying to offload him, and something goes wrong, they end up with 4. It could be risky, but I would love
You've got to look at it though. We have to push for promotion this season, and it's up to the 49ers. They've got to do something in January just to push us over that line. For me,
they've got to gamble. I think ever so slightly.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think so.
We've got to go for it. Ipswich did it. You know, they brought in Kiefer Moore last season. We need a 10 and we need a 9. I know we've been linked to goalkeeper, but I think Joppy's going to be on his way out as well, and he by it sounds of it, which is a shame.
And we've already got a thin squad, haven't we, Sean? So anyone that goes, we have to bring in. But what I don't want them to do is, say Joffrey goes, who's not even a bench option now. I don't want them to bring someone in like that. I want them to bring someone in who's going to elevate the squad and push. So you need, if we're losing squad players, we need to be bringing in first team pushers, really, rather than just other squad players. Do you know what I mean? But
you've got to be bringing in players that are going to improve us, not 100%. You know, not like for like. So
100%.
But yeah, if there's a chance he goes, brilliant, because then we will get somebody in, guaranteed. And if it's Evan Ferguson, brilliant.
Really, I touching on the goalkeeper. If I'm honest, Sean, I don't rate Meslier too much, but I really don't want a change in there in January, and that might, you know, a lot of people might not agree with that. I really don't want to change that vital position in January for me. You know, it's not like bringing a striker in and fighting out with Pirro and Joseph. This is your starter every week. You know, I don't think they'll bring someone in to rival him. Do they bring someone in and try and offload Melly? I've been hearing all sort of wild takes that they may be looking at offload him in Jan. I just don't see him messing around with that position. How do you feel on that in January? I think the end of the season, Sean, yes. January, I'm not too sure they'd look at that. What do you think?
Depends on price to me, I think.
And what do you think they'll be looking at? Do you reckon if they offered you 10 mil, would you say take it now, or
between 8 and 10? I think they'll take it.
Oh, you think even in January?
Yep.
Thing is, it's hard with Melly, isn't it?
Because I think they're going to. I think they've got it in their heads. They're going to change it anyway next season. So if there's a chance to make a bit of profit on him in January, he's going to go. I mean, obviously we've been linked with is it Kelleher,
yeah, from
Kelleher at Liverpool. Whether he drops down a league, I doubt it. But yeah, I think if the price is right, he'll go in January. But
that's my problem.
Does Daniel Farker have the final say on it? Because I don't think Farker would let him go.
Farker loves him, doesn't he? I think it's one of them where, say, like if we are looking at a Kelleher, or I've heard of Jason Steele as well, it wouldn't be a bad shout. But a few of these keepers we might look at, would they come to Championship now? You know, if we get promoted, when we get promoted, I think they'd probably come to us in Premier League. But would we be able to get a decent replacement now in Championship to replace him for the last few months of the season? I'm not too sure, but I think next season it happens regardless. And I feel like it'd be a massive ball drop really on our part if we gambled on him in Premier League again, because I think when we get promoted this season, which I believe we will, his stock will be the highest it's going to be at Leeds. Like if we go up to Premier League and we're struggling, he's conceding goals again, his head's going to go down, the value is going to fall. Whereas he's going to have a lot of clean sheets in Championship this season. Whether we agree it's all on him or a collective, which I'm sure we will agree on that, it's still going to look good. I know his personal stats aren't brilliant, but if we get promoted and he has, I don't know, 10, 15 clean sheets, maybe more, it's going to look okay on him, and it'll probably be best value we'd get for him at the end of the year. Don't you agree?
Even if, you're right. Even if we get promoted, his value is going to go up anyway because we'll be a Premier League team. So
yeah,
maybe that's a good reason to keep hold of him. But yeah, I know he's made his mistakes, but he has also made some good saves. His kicking's atrocious. It's terrible for me. And yeah, it's not priority. I won't be bothered if he was still here. I won't be bothered at all. That's not priority for me. It's as 10 and a striker.
I agree. Just name drop this SJ. Yeah, I name drop Jason Steele there. Genuinely, I am as shocked as you are, mate, because I watched Sunderland documentary a few years back, and I remember him being on there and he came into Sunderland when they were in a rough time and he was poor. But then he ended up as Brighton's number one only a couple of years ago, which was balmy considering where he was 5 or 6 years ago, SJ. But yeah, I agree, but like I say, it must be half decent these days to be Brighton's number one for.
How old is it?
Season. Jason Steele, I don't know, mate. Maybe around 30. I feel like he's been around a while, but I think he broke through fairly young, but he's not massively old for a keeper. But yeah, I remember him struggling at Sunderland. They were really poor, but then he went to Brighton and ended up as number one, which you don't do unless you're half decent. So, bit of a strange one with him, yeah. Let's look at Danny says here. We should have done Firpo in August, but they left it. Yeah, how do you feel about the Firpo situation, mate?
He's going for free in it end of season.
Yeah. I think so.
He is. We're not. I don't think they'll offer him another, and I think I'll think he wants to go as well. We should have heard something by now, but
we'd have offered him something by now, Sean, if we wanted to keep him. Surely, you'd have heard something.
Yeah, but we've seen him in Premier League, and keep talking like we're up there already. But you've got to plan these things, haven't you, just in case. But look, we need to move on. I think from some of these players, and Firpo's one of them. For me, I know he's done well this season. He's dropped off a little bit in past few games, but no, I think we need to move on. And I don't think he'll get another contract. I think he's going to go for free.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe back to Spain, won't it? He's going to go. It sounds of it. So
I think so. I can see him back at Betis. Like I say, I think if we were going to keep Firpo, we'd have offered him some money, a new contract by now. There'd have been some sort of leak. We'd have heard something. I know he's got a song now. When he's on form, he's one of his better players. He gets international games now for Dominican Republic. He's doing all right. He's probably playing best form he's had in a lot of years. But for me, we know in the Premier League, he don't really cut the mustard. So
it's like Danny's saying there. I understand. Yeah, we could have got money for him, but then you've got to think, well, we've got one of the best left backs in league, so why would we get rid of him? You know, he's one of the best left backs in Championship, if not you could say. So it's one of those. You don't always have to sell players. Sometimes you're just going to have to let them run down the contracts because
true.
He has done well for us, and would the replacement we got in been any better? But so it is a tough one. Yeah, it is a tough one.
It's Andy Roach, if you comment, mate. Have you covered Strout's hammy issue? Yeah, I mean, we just touched on it. We think it's a tightening. I don't think it's more severe than that. But if they risk him, it could be a lot worse. So we've sort of agreed that you probably let him miss this one, even if he trains tomorrow. And we're quite happy with Ampadu sitting in there, aren't we? I've said a few times, Sean, that obviously I think it's only a small injury. A tightening a hamstring. Hopefully he'll only miss Saturday, but I've sort of looked at. We always talk about who's going to come out, Rafael Tanaka when Ampadu's right. And I've never ruled out the possibility, that something goes wrong elsewhere and he comes in another role. Because with Leeds United, we get one or two back and then we lose someone else. It's just honestly, I know this is only minor right now, but honestly, has there been any other side who's had as many injuries as us this season? I know Sheffield United have an hour blasted out, but we tend to get them in clusters, don't we? We've had some big injuries this season, mate.
Yeah, we have. I mean, the Ampadu and Gruev, that was a massive loss, and that was a shock to everybody.
In a week? It took
in a week, yeah, it was an absolute shock. It was a shock to everybody. But you're going to get these over the course of the season. And yeah, every team, there's probably other fans on other channels saying the same thing. Every team has their injuries. Obviously, we just don't see it, and we think we're only one. But
yeah, we do.
But we've got good cover there in Ampadu. So glad he's back sooner as well. So that's lucky because he wasn't supposed to be back till New Year. But
mad.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have all been calling for a centre back in January, wouldn't we? But
we would. I expected to see a good Ampadu as well, Sean. He's going to be watching from sidelines, seeing more than we do because he'll have seen these boys in training. Like, it's only going to raise his level, which was already a bloody good level as it was. When players, I know a lot of people look and go, he ain't as good as Rothwell and Tanaka. I've heard people say that, but I think we forget sometimes, last season, really a star man bar, maybe your Somervilles who were right up there, 7, 8 out of 10 most games. He's as captain, he's as leader. I can't think of no better than someone like him being out the side for a little bit and having to watch on at these two lads who's coming to his position, absolutely smashing it, knowing that to get back in this team, he's going to have to raise his game. And if he raises his game onto what he can be, what a player we've got on his hands, mate, when Ampadu's fully fit.
Yeah, I mean, my only issue with Ampadu is that sometimes slows the game down a little bit, where you got Rothwell and Tanaka, just they keep the ball moving all the time, and obviously we've seen that. So that's my only issue with Ampadu, but it's so good to have him back in team. As a selection, but and like you say, he's just captain, so he's been playing coming on at right back, hasn't he?
He has, mate. Yeah, he has. I think
just to get him game time and get him back in team. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting this midfielder situation where he's going to fit.
It's reset that now, hasn't it, Andy? It's reset.
That's reset that.
It reset 2 games ago after 19 games, so we haven't got that to worry about. What a comment in here I wanted to touch on. Isaac Schmidt. Where do you feel he plays, Sean? Like, I mean, you've got options now with Oba being out and Firpo being out. I know we think Bardem will go at left back, I do, but is Schmidt even seen as a full back? What do you think?
He came in. I thought he was.
I did, mate.
Left back, right back, and then somebody said, well, he can play midfield. Then somebody said he could play 10, and then he's bringing him on and playing him on left wing.
Stuart Ellis.
Stuart D, but yeah, I wouldn't have. He's done well since when he's come on. Could he be an option for left back? Yeah, I'd play him. He's done well. He's done well in the previous club when he played there. So
I mean, he's easing him, isn't he, with his minutes? But he's been on bench now and relatively fit for a fair while now. And like you say, he's only been getting 5, 6, 8 minutes now here and then. But every time he's touched grass, he's impacted game. And I know
that's Daniel Parker all over, isn't it?
It is. It really is. I mean, love him to just throw him in and have a go, mate. I really would.
You know, he likes players to get up to speed, and obviously he did have an injury, didn't he? But he don't like to change a lot, don't Daniel Parker? And I feel a bit sorry for him because he was playing at Europa League before he come to us, wasn't he? And scored that worldie goal in his last game for his old club.
He did.
And then he's down to championship and he's sat on bench every week. So I think he's used to. He must be used to tactics and everything now. So it's just up to Daniel Farke to use him. But it's an option. No, it's an option. I'd like to see him.
Big time. I mean, when you consider Byram, if he starts, can he play 90 minutes? You know, he can, but there's every option. Hopefully, that it's a game where we'd like to think we're 2-3 in front. I keep saying this, it's going to sting. You're going to be able to clip this up and look a right idiot when it bloody draw 0-0 or something. But it might be a game where you can take Byram off, on maybe 70 and give Schmidt a little bit longer. Why not? Yep. He's got to build up. He's got to build up at some point from his 10-minute spells, 8-minute spells. This could be a perfect game just to give him 20-25 minutes. How do you feel about Farke on the subs? Because he's got a lot of heat for his 70-minute subs, but they tend to. I think we've scored 10 goals from subs, so it works. But I tell you what, it doesn't half irritate me that no matter what, it's 70 minutes. And how many times have you watched the game of the season at half time and just been sat there going, come on, make a sub now. Just be brave enough to make a sub now. I don't think it's going to matter in the whole games. We're sort of touching on the away games a bit more, talking about this. But I love Farke, but he infuriates me at times. So frustrating.
Yeah, it does me. Honestly, I think we can all guess even before the game starts what subs he's going to make on the 70th minute.
Yeah.
And he still does it regardless whether we're losing or not. And that's the infuriating thing. And like we all say, last game we could have changed it at half time, but he doesn't. He sticks with it, and that's his stubbornness, and that'll be his downfall for me. Is his stubbornness, especially if we get promoted. That's not going to wash, and that won't wash with us, and it won't wash with board. But he gets away with it this.
Man, Paul.
He's getting away with it this season because we are picking up. We are picking up the points, and if his own form weren't as good, then we could have the serious questions. But I don't know. I think that's just how he is.
Are you the same as me, Sean? Do you think it's wild to say we won't get beat at Elland Road rest of the season? Wild. I genuinely don't see it, mate. I've got all the makings here of looking a fool on Saturday, but do you feel like the home form will continue to this level, which means we can't afford the odd slip up away from home as we've been having? Because let's be fair, if the home form dips a little bit, as it stands right now, I'd be absolutely bricking it. But I do think the home form's going to get us out of jail.
I think we are going to lose another game at home. I can't see us all going for full seat rest of the season.
Not tomorrow, though. Not on Saturday, though, mate. Not
tomorrow. No. But it'll be it'll be a top 5 team or something like that. But listen, no, I don't like doing them predictions because it don't happen. It don't happen, mate. And that's my worry, though. If it does start happening, and we're still, away form's not as good, we're going to see that drop off, and we're going to start dropping points and getting behind the top. Well, the top or the top 2, and that's me worry. But we're going to lose games. Come on, we've got to be realistic, and we can't. If it were a run of 3 games where we don't pick up points, then fine, we could start having that conversation. But we had a bad game, like I said, we had a bad game against Preston. We're going to smash Oxford tomorrow for me.
I think so.
And I think the players will want to prove a point too. Because they'll be just as disappointed at the Preston game.
We'll smash him as much as Farke will allow, Sean. He'll let us smash him for a little bit again, then he'll tell him to stop.
Yeah. Once it gets to 2 or 3, that's it.
That's enough, boys. Off. That's enough. He's off. It's not fair. This.
And I can understand. You can see it. You can see it. It's a points business, isn't it? And it's you can understand when we're in control and it's just game management, is that?
And he loves that more. He loves that, doesn't he? He'd rather win a game 2 or 3-0, but see you dominate the ball and not give the other side a sniff than win 5-0, but allow 3 or 4 shots and go. He enjoys controlling a game just as much as he does the eye-catching stuff. What we want to see as fans.
We see it as fans. We just want to be entertained. Of course we do. Are you not entertained? That's what we want for full 90 minutes. Where Daniel Farke's just got to manage it and manage the players and manage the load and all that, and just get the points on the board. So I can see on his side why he does do it.
100%. I tell you what, though, Sean, like a lot of people have touched on has been boring and been. So I don't think we're boring. I think we're really, really measured, really love the control side of the game. I don't think it's boring as such. You know, as periods in a game, sometimes at Elland Road, but it gets a little bit. But it's mainly just we've got the ball and we're doing exactly what Farker wants. But you know, the amount of shots we have on goal, the goals we've scored, I think we're top scorers in the league.
Yeah.
That's not boring. When you look at the sides around us, your Burnley and Sheffield United, I think they're very boring, but there's more ways to play football than one, isn't there? And they're getting results. I mean, Burnley are so poor going forward. But when Sean, 6 goals conceded in 21 games, 6. That is unbelievable defence by Burnley. And they are shocking to watch. Burnley aren't enjoying the football. But I tell you what, Scott Parker's going to get them there or thereabouts. And that's a worry for me. When you only need 1 goal to win a game, Sean, which both of them sides do. You watched us go away at Swansea. We needed 4 to win that game. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we only need the 1 goal. We're really good defensively. I think we conceded, 12 or 13, which is brilliant as well. But 6 and 9 from them to either side of us, some fucking record, that, Paul.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's, like you said, you know, defence, what is it? Defence wins you.
That's what they say. Wins your titles.
Championships. Yeah. Wins your titles. And, well, you know, we've got a good defence.
Brilliant, yeah, we have. So when it Burnley's conceded half of what we've conceded, mental that, isn't it?
It's crazy. Half. Well, they're just having a really good season that way. But we're scoring so many goals. For me, we're definitely going to pick up more points than Burnley. I mean, goals per match, we're first in the league at 1.8. Wow. Who's that behind me?
I don't know. I'm waiting for stats to come out and wondering who's going to come through the door.
It's crazy.
That's
and yeah, so like I said, we're second in league on big chances missed, and it's like 35 big chances we've missed. You imagine if we can score half of them.
Honestly, mate.
How many points we'd have?
Like when a lot of us touched before season, thinking, you know, like Joe said it, and I were always on the same notion of we'll win this by quite a margin. And the fine margins are, like you say, if we score 5 or 6 of these big chances, we could be clear at top of league. It's just clinically, you know, it's something we haven't been able to talk about Leeds for a fair few years now. Is it that clinical edge up front? You know, it's something we've lacked for a while, to be fair. And if we could just get that right, we could be well clear, mate. We really could, because that side, it's definitely the best side, I think, in terms of quality. But there's definitely some deficiencies towards game, what we've touched on with maybe Aronson and that striker position, which, like I say, if we can just elevate that from January on to end of season, that could be making of us up, Paul.
Really that's the frustrating thing of it, isn't it? It's crazy. It's like we're creating so many chances. We ask, you know, we've scored the right amount of goals that we should have been, really.
Yeah.
So where's the issue? There's no issue. I think 36.5 estimated goals. We've scored 37, so we're actually slightly over. But it's crazy. It is, honestly. It's so crazy when you look at the stats. It's hard to have anything negative to say because everything's going in the right direction, but it could be so much better. And I think we should have that. That's why I think we need that gap, because it is the drop. If we have a drop off, that is what's the worrying thing for me. But we should be so much. But we should be doing a Leicester.
Yeah, I agree. Put it in layman's terms, mate. I'd be happy with a B+ on a test, me. But if you've got the capabilities for an A-star, why not go for that? You know, we're definitely doing enough. Yeah. Definitely doing well, but there's definitely, you know, a gear or two we could definitely go up and.
I've said well, that last game at season. If we're going into last game at season away at Plymouth, needing 3 points to win to get promoted, come on, that's got Leeds United not doing it written all over.
Well, that's the worry, isn't it? You know, we're going to be in mix, but the problem is with Leeds, we don't want to be in the mix. We want to be. Hi.
Yeah,
we want to be ahead of the curve, really. I mean, if we're in the mix, it's just a worry because we don't do well when, you know, it's congested in playoffs or a must-win game away at QPR. You know, we know all that sort of narrative for Leeds United. So Leeds just want it done and out of sight early as we can, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as that, Sean. You know, I think 4-2 don't go, obviously. I think Sunderland won't quite met the cut. I think towards the back end of the season, I think it will be down to a 3-horse race, but I do think we've got more than enough, you know. And I would imagine Burnley eventually, you'd imagine, would start conceding because they don't score many. That should level itself out, hopefully. So I only see us and Sheffield United going up. And I am bothered about the title, Sean. I am bothered. I want the title. I know you do as well, but I aren't even going to stop for a second. I want that title.
Yeah, obviously, of course.
I know,
yeah.
Mate, I know.
And just to get one over Sheffield United as well, that'd be nice. But bigger picture, we all just want promotion, and at the minute I can't see Sheffield United dropping down a bit. They're so good at the minute, and they're just picking up the points, aren't they? 1-0, 2-0. They do it every week. Yeah. So frustrating them, but fair play to them. This is why I think we need a couple of good signings in January just to give us that boost.
They will, Sean.
And they will.
If we all sat still, I won't mind it. But if we sit still, for a fact the ones around us won't sit still, and they'll go out and strengthen, and we'll be left behind like we did last season. I'm
hoping they've learned the lesson from last season.
We only brought in Roberts, didn't we? And he only replaced Jed Spence. So really, we're like for like. We didn't really gain out last January. Totally gambled on that, and that could have been.
And he hardly played anyway.
No,
Roberts hardly played anyway because Archie Gray were there. So we've got to learn from his mistakes from last season, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, 49ers have realised that.
I feel like there's a lot more talk now, Sean, don't you? I know they're only rumours, but I didn't fancy us to do much, and now all of a sudden I'm hearing a lot. I'm watching German other channels, and there's a lot of names getting mentioned now on from credible links and stuff. So don't get me wrong.
I haven't seen a lot of them. I haven't seen a lot of them at the minute. I haven't really looked into it too much, but
Wendy, that's one that keeps getting mentioned from decent sources. But don't get me wrong.
That's maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'll take him.
That'd be my number one, mate. I know he's risky with injury. He hasn't played a lot of football, but that'd be my. If you said you could only get one, I'd say Buendia every day. And I know you've got your Fergusons and your other players, but I think Buendia for me would be absolutely.
What would you think? Someone like, say, like Ilias Chair again? We've always been linked with him just from QPR. Someone who could snatch from another championship team.
I like him as a player. You know what it is with him? It's his attitude, and he's been in trouble off the pitch, and I don't know if they'd risk it, Sean, mid-season when they've got a good dressing room. I think he has been involved with police and that recently, so I'm not too sure. But as a player, 100% as a player. But I think the profile is just as important, like we've seen with Gillivogia, than just what it is as a player, and it's Sean,
And that McAtee from Man City.
I'd like him as well, Paul. I'd love him.
He'd be good, wouldn't
he? He might even be better than a Buendia, to be fair, because he hasn't really got no scars, has he? He
I don't. See, you've said it there, and I don't want to sign in some injury. I don't want to sign players who are injury prone. We've done it with Solomon, and he broke down. Obviously, he's back now, but is he really?
Yeah,
I'll take that back then. Maybe not then.
Get him out, Willie. Get him out.
Like Ilias Chair, so it could be someone else like him. We could go visit him. It's not far, is it?
No. But I don't.
Yeah, like I said, Ben did have a serious injury. I mean, and he has not really played. So then he's going to need a few weeks to get back up. I don't know. I'd like us to just go get somebody like McAtee where he can just come straight into the squad and into the team, and we won't have to worry about injury issues.
Yeah, I mean, all the noise is in that position, in that 10 role. We've been linked with quite a few now. That lad from Villa as well. Is it Louis Barry? Linked to him as well. I think he's predominantly plays off at left though, but I think he can play out middle. He can play up front. It's a bit. He can play across anywhere. I think across that 4, but. Another one, he's not coming back from injury. Someone who's in form currently at Stockport, smashing goals in. So what I am liking is a lot of noise around some potential, players in positions where link. And I know it's an easy link to make when people know we need players, but I do feel like some of these people who are talking about them wouldn't be talking about them if they weren't worth mentioning. Some people don't put the neck on block, do they? If it's a loose claim, so it's nice to actually feel like we may do something in January. Because honestly, mate, I didn't think we would at all. But we need to make sure we've still got another 4 games. We need to make sure three games before we go into January. And we know if we do any business, Sean, it'll be tail end of January. So we need to make sure we're in that top 2 and vying for, because we're all going to be vying for the same players. If it's 3 or 4 players available, those top 3 or 4 sides in Championship are all going to be vying for the same players. We saw that last year. We were linked with every player that Southampton got and Ipswich got. So we need to make sure we're in that top 2 to be even enter the conversation to get any of these players, don't we, Paul?
We do, mate, and it's like you said, we need to let some players go first as well. So it's whether they go early in the January transfer window, so we can then get them players in. I think if Bamford were to go, we definitely push button on somebody, on another striker, then get him in.
Get a couple of loans for his wages, couldn't you? If you could get his full wages off the end of the season,
you could get a 10 in a striker.
Yeah,
easily, just like that. Like I said, don't wait. I don't want to wait till end. If we wait till end of January, we might as well just get him in, get him up to speed, get him up to with tactics, and get him in squad and in team.
It's not the Leeds way, is it, mate, to do it there and then? But they'll be looking now. So why can't they be looking, having this conversation now? And as soon as it gets to the first week in January, just press the button on them, get it done.
We don't need to be. It's not like the beginning of the season where you are holding out for, we are holding out for the best deals.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
you can understand the beginning of the season, which is fine, and you're trying to get the best price. January, no, season started. We're on with it. We've got games coming thick and fast. Let's just get it done.
If there's an opportunity, go do it. You don't sit around and wait, do you? If it's someone there,
you could wait. You could wait 2 or 3 games or 2 or 3 weeks, and them games we could be dropping points. It's going to cost us in the long run. So, no, get it done. And I don't see if they've identified players, like you say, what's the point in waiting?
No, I agree. Anyways, we're going to get a prediction off here, but before we do that, please smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and please, honestly, make sure you go and see Sean at Wilco's Whites, because if you don't, I won't do anything, but I'll just be very disappointed in you, and that's worse than being angry. You know that from parents tell you that as a kid, don't you? I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed, and I'll be very disappointed. And I've just telling Sean before I come on air, I've just won a raffle tonight. I've never entered a raffle before in my life. Yeah, just entered a raffle from one of my friends on Facebook, and I've just won a signed Radaby piece with different pictures. It's going to be going up there next to maybe Elsa. I actually can't believe it. Just last 2 tickets, I thought, I'll give it a go. And I actually won. So that's amazing. So you'll see that on my wall, hopefully maybe Sunday. But I'm absolutely buzzing with that. I just have to get that in. But yeah, make sure you text Sean from Wilco's Whites out. But yeah, before we go, Sean, we've touched on the game. We expect a good performance, dominate the possession. What are you saying score-wise, pal?
3-0.
3-0.
I want 4 or 5, but it's going to be 3.
Yeah, I know.
Because I said 4 or 5 every time, and it's always 2 or 3. So I'm going 3-0.
Well, I think you're going to get that spot on. In fact, I've said 5 on Final Pint, probably because I had a pint in me.
You always said 5.
I'm here all the time. Look at my face. I get right giddy, mate, all the time. Yeah, and then I'll be crying on Sunday when it's not. But yeah,
I hope so. I hope it is.
My thing is, I think we've got the capabilities to do it, and it could definitely happen. But like you say, we don't tend to keep going after we get that lead. So 3 is probably likely. 5 is possible, but I'm going to go for 5 just because I absolutely love just being wild. So why not? But yeah, chat saying 3. Danny says Solomon and DJ. Are you tipping Joseph to maybe start, maybe get a goal?
Yeah, I think I think he'll start me. I think he'll score. Yep, I do.
I hope so. That'd be my info side going forward. If he could get a goal.
Yeah, it is. It's a perfect game for him to come in.
I agree, Paul.
And maybe similar with Schmidt, like you said, get these players who haven't had much game time. But we're Leeds United. We'll just see which way the game goes. We could be eating his words by Sunday, but
we could be. I'm sure we won't be there. I'm sure it's going to be a good game. And like I say, we will be meeting up beforehand in town in the Moot Hall Arms for a few, and then in the Peacock maybe an hour before kickoff. So if anybody's there, come over to Peacock, come and say hi to Sean, me, Darren and Dillo from all the Leeds Bros. Can't wait. It's my work's Christmas do tomorrow, so I'm going to be on it tomorrow, on it Saturday. My God, our lass is going to hate me on Sunday. She'll be like, mate, banging jump. Come on, get up. We've got shopping to do. You're not feeling sorry for yourself. And honestly, I've not done 2 days drinking, mate, for about 20 years. It's been a long time, Sean, so I'm dreading it a bit. But, looking forward to it as well.
Anyways, I look forward to seeing you Saturday morning. Then.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pace myself, mate. I really am. Not what you want to be doing second day, going out with 2 Irish lads, but,
no.
Anyways.
I might even have a Guinness.
Yeah, maybe, mate, maybe.
We'll have a Guinness with them.
Anyway, everyone in chat, thank you so much for being here. Like I say, stick a like, subscribe, and head over to Sean Wilco's Whites. Please check him out. Really good channel, really good stuff. Support us, up-and-coming YouTubers of the Leeds scene. Much appreciated. Much love. Big 3 points. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.